Y'all already know what time it is. This is a Tiefossi box, and we need to unbox this new bullet journal. Besties, I love this time of the month. It's so much fun to open new bullet journals. Now, I will say that I was too excited to wait, so I did already cut the seal, so apologies. But let's unbox this newest journal. Ooh. Oh my goodness, I'm already obsessed with this color palette. Pulling out my fancy little baby scissors for this one to make it even more exciting, even though the scissors barely cut anything. They're too small to be functional for big things, but they'll cut plastic. And here it is. Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness. This is the A5 Moonlight Melody notebook in the color beige from Tiefossi. This is such a beautiful cover design with the two birds under the moon and then all the little touches of red metallic in the flowers. I'm absolutely obsessed with this color palette. It kind of blends in with my table whenever I hold it down here, but truly it's just a beautiful color. And there's also a design on the back, which is super cute. Of course, matches the front page right here. The way that this entire cover has a complete detail to it. So many bullet journals just have a small little logo, which can be cute and minimal, but recently I've been really loving like the full cover designs, and this is no exception. It also has a soft vegan leather cover, so it's like very satisfying to hold. It's very soft, but still super durable with its elastic enclosure as always. Gold gilded edges, look how shiny that is, and then a pen loop. We also have our crisp white dot grid pages, and I think there's 190 pages in this journal, so a full-size journal. Inside we have our two bookmarks, of course, and on the very front cover there is a thank you note from Tiefossi and a place to put your name before we actually get into the dot grid pages. Honestly, such a gorgeous notebook and so satisfying to feel. I can't really emphasize this, like vegan leather is like my new favorite texture for a bullet journal. All right, so obviously I wanted to make a spread in this gorgeous journal, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So then I thought that we could play around with scrapbooking. I have 5 boxes worth of scrapbooking materials that I use all the time. It's just like collected ephemera, stickers, things like that. I also have a separate box for extra washi tapes as well. But instead of planning in advance, I just thought I would close my eyes and pick one thing from every box and then have to make a spread that includes all of it. So for example, this first box I think are completely sticker sheets. Yeah, lots and lots of random sticker sheets. And I know you can't see my face, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it, but I'm just going to close my eyes, mess around, and let's pick this one. All right, so on this sticker sheet, it's like literally half used, but we have some cats and a fox up here. These are really cute. A lot of different colors that we could work with, but also like there are only 3 options because this sticker sheet is already half used up. This next box is literally just random ephemera, scraps of paper, things like that I've just collected over the years. I'm gonna pick 2 from this box because it's not like a row of stickers. So let me close my eyes, spread these out. I'll do 1 from either side. Okay, this is, oh, another row of stickers. Actually, these are stickers. All right, cutie. Love the little girls, and especially on this little motorcycle. And then I'm gonna close my eyes again. I'll pick 1 from this side. What's under here? Let's do, what is this? Okay, this is like a random piece of ephemera with like green doily flowers on it. I don't know. I could make it work, probably. This box is a little random. It has a couple of stationery pads and then a bunch of my old Etsy shop stuff in it that I used to sell. So I'm gonna pick 1 pad and then 1 thing for my Etsy shop. So eyes are closed. Let me just kind of shuffle and see what ends up on top. This one is, oh, the green one. Cute. All right, and then my eyes are closed again. Let's look under here for some of my old Etsy stickers. I'm going to pick this one, the ice cream cone. This is such a fun one. This one has stamps and washi tape samples in it, so I'm probably just gonna go through the washi tape samples and pick something. I'll close my eyes and shuffle. See what ends up on top. This one is, oh, it's blue. Okay, I'm like getting all the different colors in the rainbow with this color palette I'm picking up, but that's the point of the challenge, is to pick things that will expand you beyond your comfort zone. And then last in here, it's just a bunch of random things. These have things in them, but I'm not gonna pick from those. I'll just pick from what's in here. So a lot of stuff in here. Let me close my eyes and just kind of see. I'll pick 2 things from here. What is this? This one, what is it? Okay, so we have another situation where it's just like a piece of paper with multiple things on it. We've got a butterfly, some words. Okay, and I'm gonna close my eyes again and let's pick one from down here. Sick. Okay, this is just a row of dots, but definitely could be used to tie a color palette together, I think. All right, so my selection includes this cat sticker sheet, this green thing, this beige thing, ice cream, this washi tape, some green dots, this pad of paper I can choose from, and then these girls. So I'm thinking the color palette here, it's a little all over the place, but I'm seeing some browns, greens, blues. So I'll probably use like this blue sticker and then pull out some green from maybe this sweater and put something together. I don't know, let me just open my bullet journal, start a time lapse, and we'll just kind of see what I come up with. Alrighty, voiceover Sophie here. Let's get into the time lapse of this video. So like I said, I had a lot of random stationery, but I didn't really see a consistent or a coherent theme. There were some greens, some blues, and I was going to kind of rely on that whenever I was picking the different papers from the green pad to work with and the washi tapes that I wanted to use. But overall, I didn't know what I was going to write about. I didn't know what I was going to journal about. I just wanted to start putting things down and seeing what happened. And honestly, it was a really fun exercise in just like letting go of control with your journal and just like being free with it. Is this like getting into a therapy session for literally just scrapbooking? Maybe, and it doesn't need to be that serious, but all I'm saying was I really just leaned into the fact that it's not going to be a perfectly curated spread with all of my perfect color combinations and picture combinations. I'm just making do with what I have here and trying to make everything mesh. And in the end, I really do like how it turned out, even though it wasn't perfect, just because I made something out of what I assumed was not much at the beginning, right? So I encourage you guys to try this if you want to. It was kind of fun. So yeah, I got some green paper from the paper pad to put in the corners. I often do this just to kind of anchor my spreads a little bit and add some darkness in the corners. And then I'm going to be using different washi tapes and layering on top with the ephemera. I used a little bit of glue. I have this liquid glue that I bought for whenever I was journaling in my book, The Favorites, which is a different YouTube video on my channel if you want to go check that out. But I have this like liquid glue and I bought it. I need to use it up, but I just like don't know how to use it. So I figured I would use it here. The problem is it does wrinkle the page behind it a little bit, but you know, it's the journaling, it's fine. I went back and forth between using glue and double-sided tape to adhere everything to the journal page itself. Now this big piece of white paper in the middle is actually a receipt, because the day that I was filming this I actually went to Barnes & Noble, and I think it's really cute to use receipts in your journal spreads. I've seen people do this all the time before. I did it once in my mini journal spread a couple of months ago, and I decided to pull it back again since I had a receipt to use, and I literally used it earlier today when I got it earlier that day when I went to Barnes & Noble. So I just kind of taped that right in the middle. Does this make it a little awkward later when I'm going to be writing around these things? Yes, but I do like trying newer layouts with my scrapbooking and not just like putting all the scrapbook and ephemera in the corners and leaving the center for the writing. By like actually putting the ephemera in the center of the page, it makes it more difficult but also more interesting and more creative. So just trying new things when I'm, you know, already in a spot where it's not going to be perfect because the color isn't perfect, so I might as well just try to mess around with things I'm also not comfortable with and see what happens, you know? I do feel like as a whole this spread is very light on color. I mean, I have my greens, my blues and everything, but the green paper that I used for the corners is very light, very minimal. Of course the receipt is just another shade of white. I feel like if I really dug into the rest of my stationery stash, I could have pulled out a lot of other pictures or ephemera or things in washi tape that are in other shades of green and blue to really make this pop. To be honest, it wasn't my intention to only use these particular stationery things that I picked for the spread. I mean, I was going to, you know, go back in my stash and add more, but I guess just subconsciously I didn't. I really just stuck with the 5 or 6 different pieces that I had picked before, some markers, my receipt, and kind of called it good. I can't think of anything on the spread that I picked out from my stationery stash that wasn't in what we picked. So honestly, I made this more difficult on myself than it had to be, to be honest. But also, if I wanted to go back, for example, and like do this again but better, I'd probably add more pictures to add more color everywhere. Although it is a very, you know, lightly colored, lots of white space kind of spread, I am going to be filling it in with my black pen as I write and fill up the negative space in just a minute. So like I said, when the actual spread itself was done, I did my calligraphy, I added my little sparkles everywhere. Then I pulled out my normal black pen and just started scribbling, writing. I was like, what do I do to fill up all this empty space? Because I love the idea and the look of black pen filling up the extra space, but I didn't know exactly what to write about. So I just talked about my day, my week, what was going on, you know, nothing crazy and substantial. I do have a journal where I actually like journal sometimes about like my issues, my problems, things that I'm realizing recently, but to be honest, I don't open that thing as often as I should. Sometimes I think about things that I want to write in there and never do, and because this is on camera, I didn't want to get super, you know, vulnerable or anything, so I was just talking about my day, my week, books I'm reading, how I'm feeling, things like that. But it was still super nice, and since this is dated, I could look back on this in future years and be like, oh, this is what she was feeling on April 5th, 2025, and I think it's pretty cool to have that kind of time capsule in your journal collection. I want to give a big shout out to Tiefossi for sponsoring this video. If you guys are interested in checking out this gorgeous dot grid notebook from them or anything else from this collection, I'll have a link to their website in the description box below, and you can always use code MINGO at checkout for 10% off your order. I'm always a huge fan of their journals. They're so beautiful. They put so much effort into the design of their notebooks, and I cannot wait to continue using this one. So thank you again to Tiefossi. Link is down below if you're interested, and as always, subscribe. I will see you guys next Thursday.